Hello everyone! In this video, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, figuratively. While fulfilling an order, I'll also film this video for you all to see how it is done. It's about making this 3mm band ring in rose gold field. It has hammer texture, and the way the facet catch the light is just so stunning. The thickness of the band is also a good size to be called a medium-sized ring. And the volume is just perfect to give a great weight and presence. It would work as well for men to wear them as well as for women. It's also available in silver, but if you ask for my opinion, I really prefer the rose gold filled. Okay, without further ado, let's get to work.
This is the spec for the ring. The size is 9.5 USA. The amount of wire needed is 6.35 centimeter. But since it's hammered, the wire will expand, so I'm going to take a wild guess and cut 6.2 centimeter instead. The thickness of the wire is around 3 millimeters, and here I'm measuring the wire and marking it with the marker so I can cut it with the saw blade later. Let me prepare my bench. They are super messy from the previous work. Well, to be honest, if it's not for shooting video, this bench is never really clean. If you have any tips on how to have a neat studio, please let me know. I am desperate. So I'm looking for a stable position on how to hold the wire so it can be comfortably cut without any accident. I feel like I need to check the blade too. Okay, it's a good thing that I had checked. Let me just install the blade to the saw correctly. If you want to know the detail on how to install the blade, you can check my other video on DIY rose gold fill sparkle wire hoop earrings. I will link it here. So in order to cut smoothly this time, I'm going to lubricate the blade first. This is not a requirement though, and there are a lot of blade lubricant out there that is also good. But personally, beeswax works super well for me. They are not only cheap, but it is free from one of these cheese packaging. But also, it is a more natural solution. Alright, to mark the wire, I'm going to ram the blade upwards for several times. This will give a nick to the wire, and this bit will hold the blade in place, thus it can cut through with more stability. Now let's start the hard work. Apply steady, controlled pressure to make the cut. Avoid using excessive force or making quick, jerky motions. Take your time and focus on making smooth, controlled cuts. Rushing increases the chance of an accident. Once the cut is done, I'm recuperating the dust from the cutting for it to be recycled later. Do you know that the price of gold-filled is more than twice the silver? So is it worth to save? Yes. Now moving on to forging this blade into a circle using the ring pliers. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle at the beginning because the goal is to make the two ends meet completely without any gap. I'm trying to build a tension between these two sides so that the two ends will push against one another. With this work, I prefer to use the parallel pliers. They are the lifesavers. In order to find out if the gap is completely closed, I put it under the bright light. So here I can see that there is a gap still. If I'm stubborn and go ahead with the soldering, it will be 100% fail. So I'm taking a piece of 300 grit sandpaper, I fold it into two, slide it in between the gap, and then sand the both side by moving it up and down. Hopefully this will help. I'm also adjusting the two ends so it meets perfectly horizontally. It seems to be alright now, I guess. Now let's move on to the next step, which is soldering. I'm applying the flux to the piece, and for the soldering paste, I'm going to use 14K rose gold fill that came in serang. So I apply the paste in the area where I want it to fuse. Before you get confused, I have a behind the scene that could not be recorded earlier. Actually, it's in the middle of soldering. My torch is out of gas, so I need to turn off the recording and fill up the gas. But too bad, I didn't get the first part. So let's continue. When you start to torch, the flux will start to react into a bubble. This is to protect the metal from burning. So it is very important to apply flux, especially for the gold fill. Okay, this seems to be alright. Don't freak out. It looks burnt. This is a fire stain and can be easily cleaned with the pickle bath, hopefully. Alright, I had finished my work late last night, so right now is the second day of filming, when the ring has been pickled for a couple of hours. It doesn't have to be this long, but I woke up at 12 a.m. last night to take this bad boy out. The USA size is 9.5, so it is size S in my ring mandrel. As you can see here, it is still in R, but don't worry, it will be stretched in no time by the hammer. I apply the hammer, not too hard but steady, all over the surface to give it an even texture. Also, don't forget to flip the other side of the ring so that it has the same length and thickness. Next, I put it on a straight anvil to see if I have a perfectly balanced ring. It turned out no. So I have this rather thick aluminum plate that I will put on top of the ring and I start hammering. First, I'm using the rawhide mallet, but I don't think it works that well. So I'm going to choose the wooden mallet. So it can receive a harder blow without marring the plate. Still need to hammer a little bit more. Okay, it seems to be good now. Alright, this is the proof that I'm super happy with the result right now. So we can polish the ring. Since it's going to be messy, I'm using old socks to protect my V-slot and hand. I'm also using a power tool with adequate polishing head and also my favorite polishing compound, ZAM. I polish the outside first, and then the sides, and lastly the insides. I don't know if there's a correct way to polish, but I've been doing this forever. I feel like it works. If you know better, please share your tips in the comment below. In the final step, I'll place this ring in my ultrasonic cleaning machine. I acquired this some time ago from an online retailer, and as a small scale artisan, I only take on limited orders at a time. So this cleaner works super well for my needs. I'll set the machine to run at 50 watts for 3 minutes. Typically, if I had multiple items to clean, I would run them all together in a single batch to conserve the energy, but since this is just for the purpose of this video, I'll be cleaning just the one ring item. Alright, this is how this ring looked like in person. You guys, this doesn't disappoint. I have my super sweet and kind supplier who always deliver the best gold filled for me. If you want to know who she is, I will link her online store in the description below. No, I don't take commission for talking about her, but I'm willing to do it since she is the best. To be honest, crafting rings is really not as straightforward as it may seem. Getting the sizing just right is super important. The fit has to be precise so the ring can be comfortably worn. If the sizing is off, even by a small amount, the ring becomes essentially useless. You're welcome to rewatch this video if perhaps there are some details that you forgot.
And before I forget, if you like this ring, they are available in my online shop. I will link in the description below. Also, if you are an earring person like me, as much as I don't like the matchy-matchy, but I'm making exception with this one. So this being said, I will also link the Huggy Hoops earrings matching and along with the ring on the description below. Well, I wish you good luck to make the gold-filled ring. For my part, I need to pack this and send it to Enora from France, who has purchased this beautiful ring. And I'd like to take a moment to give a special thanks to my client who had put their faith in my work. And honestly, you make my journey in jewelry making possible. So thank you with all my heart. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so, turn on the notification bell so you will not miss out on any new videos, and see you on the next video. Happy crafting, goodbye!